Where can you go to enjoy nature's beauty in what has been called Big Sky Country? Where you can find mountains, valleys, winding rivers, meadows, intimate streams, and sunsets that can be appreciated as pure art. Where can you go to learn and enjoy one of the world's most involving, satisfying, and exciting sports? Watch the fun of a small-town parade from its silly spinning entrance to the equine, to the young happily throwing gifts, to the Scottish and their bagpipes, to the cheering spectators. Where can you find the essence of the American West, the cowboy in contests with his animals? Where can you enjoy superb cuisine, from tasty appetizers to hearty and delicious salads, to gourmet main courses, to delicately flavored desserts? Where can you step back more than 150 years in time and wander through the well-preserved town of Bannack, Montana Territory's first capital, including its sod-roofed jail? Where can you make new friendships and strengthen old ones? Where can you hook, catch, and land a fish of a lifetime? Where can you walk in the footsteps of Lewis and Clark, two of the greatest explorers of all time, who blazed new trails thousands of miles long as the country expanded from coast to coast? And where can you enjoy all this luxury in a lovely, roomy lodge in the center of an area that boasts of as much beauty, history, fun, and things to do as about any other place in the world? The answer is Five Rivers Lodge. The name Five Rivers comes from being situated in the middle of five of the best rivers in the West. There's the Big Hole River, the Beaverhead River, and the Ruby, which together morph into the Jefferson and later, joined by the Madison, along with the Gallatin, all become the mighty Missouri. This is where you find Five Rivers Lodge. Two people who love to stay at Five Rivers Lodge are world-renowned fly fisherman Brian O'Keefe and the accomplished and popular actress Dawn Wells. Here, Brian is showing Dawn some of the flies they will be using on a few of the nearby famous rivers.
In the Madison, and I have to ask you a question. As Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
CBS ran the show for 3 years. Mm-hmm. What was the magical formula that kept you on the air for so long?
I don't know. We've never been off the air since 1964, and we're in 30 languages all over the world. I really think it's because it's timeless. You don't know when we were filming it. The clothes, the cars, there was no 67 Chevrolet in the driveway, you know? And I think it's slapstick humor. It's something that all around the world we understand the skipper hitting him with a hat. Yeah. You didn't have to know who Paris Hilton was to get that, you know? And it was everybody's fantasy to be marooned on an island. Robinson Crusoe said the same thing, so.
Yeah, well, I saw every one.
Oh, shush. You were two, I'm sure.
They were great. Now, later in the year, if I had this fly box out, we'd be looking at grasshopper patterns and maybe some streamer fishing for big browns.
A small lake in the Beaverhead National Forest at the Continental Divide is where the Big Hole River begins its 153-mile journey. It is a freestone river, which means there are no dams on it. A great spot to wade fish the Big Hole is near Maiden Rock. This spot is convenient, easy to find, and allows you to cast comfortably from just off the bank. Earlier, Brian had shown us a fly that works well on the Big Hole, a pale morning dun dry fly.
Keep watching that one. There he is.
This is a grayling. Unbelievable.
The Arctic grayling is in the salmon family, and native grayling inhabit only one state in the lower 48. That state is Montana, and the upper Big Hole is about the only river where you can find them.
Here he comes. It's a nice little grayling. That's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's a rare but native fish. Let's get him in the net. I got it. Yeah, that's a grayling. Kind of rare here, but it's always a treat to get a grayling in the big hole. Look at this big dorsal fin. Yeah, transparent, little blue, lots of spots. Beautiful. What make these fish so unique? Slide it back in the big hole. Very nice.
Just 14 miles south of Five Rivers Lodge is Dillon, Montana. The population of Dillon is just under 4,500. The town was named in honor of Sidney Dillon, a president of the Union Pacific Railroad. Forbes magazine recently listed Dillon as one of America's prettiest towns. The town was established in 1857, formally incorporated in 1885, and became the county seat of Beaverhead County. Dillon is the home of the University of Montana Western, which is the only U.S. public four-year institution offering Experience 1, where students take a single subject at a time, 5 days a week for 3 hours each day for 18 days, and then move on to their next course. Dillon is where you find a clean and relaxed downtown with independent shops and outlet stores for those who want to shop. At the town's edge is a nicely manicured golf course for anyone who wants a day on the links. The Metland Hotel has been remodeled, and there's a local theater, and being that Lewis and Clark came right through where Dillon is today, there is a very good museum. All in all, Dillon is the epitome of a friendly Western community. The Beaverhead River flows more than 70 miles from its beginning at the Clark Canyon Reservoir, 20 miles south of Dillon, until it is joined by the Big Hole River, 16 miles north of Five Rivers Lodge. These two rivers then create the Jefferson River that flows north. Clark Canyon Reservoir and the earth-filled Clark Canyon Dam were built between 1961 and 64. The purposes of the dam were to hold water for downstream irrigation and for flood control. The name of the river originated from the name that Sacagawea, Lewis and Clark's Native American guide, said was the Indian description of a geologic promontory that rises majestically beside the river. Because the Beaverhead flows from the bottom of a dam, it is called a tailwater fishery. This winding and fish-filled river provides more than 100 miles of wadable and floatable water. Dawn and Brian have explored parts of the Beaverhead and have found what looks like a perfect spot.
Hey, see that current coming off that rock and coming into this eddy? That's absolutely perfect. You know, what I rigged up is this rubber leg golden stone. It's really easy to see. It'll drift on the surface of the water, and then 3 feet below is this prince nymph that will be down by the bottom. This is what the fish are going to eat. Now watch that back cast. It's pretty high grass there. Here we go.
That one.
Yep. Yep, it was right in that back eddy. Got a little weed on my indicator. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Can't see what it is.
I believe it's a pretty big rainbow.
Ooh, yeah.
It's under the bank. Got to get him back out. Nice getting under that bank, too.
Okay. Let me know when you want the net. Whew. What is it? Can we see?
Looks like a nice big rainbow, isn't it?
Beautiful rainbow.
Nice.
Woohoo.
Have you ever seen a rainbow that big?
No, it's fabulous.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Oh, wow. A beauty.
Yep, beautiful fat fish, isn't it? Healthy. Yeah, we get the fly. Catch him right out. Just gently hold him in the current. Let him breathe. Yeah, he's looking good. This is a great fish. We're gonna let him go.
Okay.
There he goes. Look at him off.
Bye-bye.
Back into the Beaverhead. Hey, that was great. You want the net again?
Yeah, sure. My turn.
hit the water and strip it in 5 or 6 times. Beautiful. Perfect. Right in that nice spot. And that's perfect. Okay, a few strips. Yeah, good. I think he's got it.
I think I got one.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah, good job. Staying down deep, isn't
I'm
it?
having trouble hanging onto the line.
Fighting like a big fish.
Can you get him, you think? Where is he? You
I
see him?
haven't seen him yet. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Oh, got him.
Oh, wow.
Man, look at that.
Beautiful. Look at the yellow stomach.
Absolutely a work of art.
How big would you think he is?
21, 22 inches.
Come on back, fella. Come on.
Isn't that really?
Oh, let's release him.
Yeah, no problem. He's a beauty. Right there in the jaw. Perfect. And breathe a little.
Fabulous.
Yeah, it was incredible. Okay, I'm gonna let him go.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Well, that's great.
What a beaut.
Yeah. Nice job.
Well done.
The ghost town of Bannack is just west of Dillon and only a short drive from the lodge. In 1864, Bannack was designated the first capital of the newly created Montana Territory. Much of the town is just as it was well more than 100 years ago. Bannack began when gold was discovered in 1862 in what the miners called Grasshopper Creek. So the town started as a miners' camp with a population in the low hundreds. But after word of gold being discovered spread across the country, those numbers catapulted upward by early 1863.
Can you believe 3,000 people lived here at one time?
It's amazing.
In 1874, the Masonic Lodge was built for a total cost of $1,500 and doubled as a school for the local children.
They've done a wonderful job of preservation, though, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
The only structure in town to ever be built for the purpose of worship took shape just 3 years later in 1877.
You know, I hate to admit this, but I've been fishing here almost my whole life. It's the first time I've ever been to Bannack.
You're kidding. Aren't you glad you came?
Yeah, it's great.
One of the most popular attractions is Dr. Robert Ryburn's house.
This is the doctor's house.
Oh, good. Let's go look.
Dr. Ryburn was a prominent member of the community,
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
and much of his home has been kept just as it had been when, in all kinds of weather, he traveled the area by horse and buggy to deliver babies, treat gunshot wounds, as well as mining and ranching accidents. By the way, visitors can wander around inside many of these preserved buildings, stores, and living quarters of 19th century life as long as they close the door when they leave. As the gold supply was mined and eventually exhausted, Bannack's population declined until in 1940, concerned citizens began work preserving the town. By 1954, all property and buildings were donated to the state with the stipulation that the ghost town atmosphere be preserved. For a trip almost as good as one in a time machine, come to Bannack. Scattered along the Beaverhead River are small tributaries and spring creeks, and these are fertile insect and food-producing environs that fish love. Brian and Dawn find one and cast up toward a bend, but then they notice a perfect place for fish to lie in wait for food that is tucked between the far bank and an underground log. And they see the lovely rises of fish sipping adult insects floating on the surface. Because it is getting late in the day and light is beginning to fade, Brian knows just what fly to put on his gossamer tippet.
Real easy to see orange post parachute Adams. It's a classic at twilight.
He moves off to the side and begins to cast where he saw fish rising. When most of the day's activities are over, Five Rivers guests all gather back at the lodge for a relaxing time either on the deck or in the warm and pleasant family area where refreshments are served, including drinks and an amazing array of appetizers. Here is where the day's events are reported to new acquaintances and old friends as well. Everyone enjoys the stories other people tell, whether those stories are the truth about fish caught or not. As humorist Ed Zern once said, fly fishers are born honest, but they get over it. Then, with the lovely dining room all ready for the evening, people move into this room ready for another sumptuous meal. The food, the conversations, the stories, the wine, the laughter, the camaraderie, all continue for as long as guests want. And for some of the guests, the stay at Five Rivers Lodge is much more than just a normal vacation.
I wanted to come on our honeymoon here because of the dining, because of the lodge, because every day you just get together and have such a great time.
And we both enjoy the outdoors, we both enjoy fly fishing, and we couldn't really think of a much better place where, I mean, it's Five Rivers Lodge, you've got 5 rivers all within easily fishing distance for a day, amazing guides, just really some of the best fishing in the United States.
Oh, and the rooms at the lodge are truly comfortable. Most of the rooms are split level, with a king-size bed on each of the levels. The bathrooms are home-like, and there's a nice sitting area providing a lovely place to relax or read. And all the rooms look out across the lovely Montana scenery with mountains in the background. The lodge also houses a great fly shop that can sell you all the accessories you might need, from clothing to footwear to suntan protection. And this shop is home to one of the largest selection of flies to be found anywhere. Here you can find thousands and thousands of flies that imitate 2,600 species. Within the Five Rivers Lodge area, numerous towns hold parades throughout the summer. These are organized especially on holidays such as the 4th of July and Labor Day. The parades are well attended by participants and spectators alike, and they bring unique entertainment that was born here in the West. Rodeos are long a staple of life that began with the American cowboy and cowgirl. Rodeos have always been a social and cultural part of the frontier, and often whole families are enjoying the show from the stands. While some of the riders get started young, others are a little more experienced. These contests attract riders who are serious about their sport, both for their own pride and for the prize money.
Wow! Man, one snap and grip, pull back the auto flop and tap, he's on the outside. Come on!
Another of the 5 rivers that make up the Five Rivers Lodge area is the Ruby. The Ruby begins in the Beaverhead Deer Lodge National Forest. The lower Ruby flows out of the Ruby Reservoir, and all in all, the entire river stretches for 76 miles. The Ruby works its way northeast between the Tobacco Root Mountains and the Ruby Range Mountains. It wanders through a gorgeous valley, aptly named the Ruby Valley, and this is, without a doubt, one of the prettiest valleys to be found anywhere. The river meanders in lazy oxbows, flowing through rich farm and ranch land. The Ruby is a major tributary of the Beaverhead River into which it feeds. This occurs just south of the town of Twin Bridges. Later on, a little north of Twin Bridges, the Big Hole River from the west feeds into the Beaverhead River, and it is here that these two rivers become the Jefferson River. The Jefferson continues north to join 2 other rivers, and they together form the mighty Missouri. The Jefferson, like the other 4 rivers in the Five Rivers Lodge area, is one of the most picturesque and unspoiled-looking watersheds in the west. The lower Ruby is lovely to travel along and see, even if you don't fish, but fish are here, no doubt about it. Another friend of Five Rivers Lodge is Greg Thomas. Greg is a prolific and respected writer and author, perhaps most famous for being the editor of the widely circulated international magazine Fly Rod and Reel.
I tied on a delectable streamer, and it has a silverish colored cone head. And I also tied on 2 split shot, and they're just BB size. So I won't be bouncing on the bottom, but I can definitely get it down around the bottom rocks where these big brown trout are in the Ruby. And I'm gonna wade out there and I'm gonna cast across and downstream, let it drift and sink a little bit down into the rocks, and then I'm gonna strip it back in, make it look like a wounded bait fish. We'll give it a shot. There he is. It's a nice, healthy fish. Slide him over into the shallows to try and get a good release. Ah, there it is. Nice Ruby River rainbow.
Right across Highway 41 from Five Rivers Lodge is a large limestone monolith known as Beaverhead Rock, or as the Native American Indians called it, Beaver's Head Rock. This rock was named Beaver's Head because long before the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, Indians had compared it to a swimming beaver. Beaver Head Rock actually played a pivotal role in the westward journey of Lewis and Clark. As the explorers headed south from the Great Falls of the Missouri River, they knew they had to find friendly Indians from whom they could buy horses and supplies. On August 8, 1805, Sacagawea, the Shoshone wife of one of the expedition's guides, recognized this formation from her childhood. 5 years earlier, she had been kidnapped in this area by Hidatsa Indians and taken hundreds of miles away to their village in what would become North Dakota. While still a teenager living in that Hidatsa village, Sacagawea was sold or traded to Toussaint Charbonneau, a French fur trapper, and she had become his wife. In the winter of 1804-05, the Lewis and Clark expedition hired Charbonneau as an interpreter and guide with the understanding that Sacagawea was part of the arrangement. As they were heading south on what was to later be named the Beaverhead River, she saw Beaver's Head Rock, which she remembered from her youth. So she excitedly told Lewis that they were in the vicinity where her Shoshone tribe staged their summer retreat, and she hoped they would find them and she might possibly reunite with her family. In fact, in just a few days, she not only connected with her brother, Kamiawait, but discovered that he was now chief of their Shoshone band, and he was willing to help the expedition by supplying horses and needed supplies. So Sacagawea, recognizing Beaver's Head Rock, was the catalyst in bringing this important alliance to fruition. Without horses, Lewis had seriously considered abandoning the expedition. Five Rivers guests gaze upon this gigantic historic limestone formation every day. When you are a guest at Five Rivers Lodge in southwest Montana, you can expect exciting, unique adventures that will be forever locked in your memory.
Keep watching that one. There he is. This is a grayling. Unbelievable. Look at this big dorsal fin.
You will be able to sightsee in fun ways. And if you want, you will be able to learn or improve your skills in a thrilling outdoor sport. And improve you will. And you'll see where and how history was made. Five Rivers Lodge in Dillon, Montana. Truly big sky and big enjoyment country.